ElectroCorp's dream was to produce a revolutionary robot, ultra-intelligent and capable of morphing itself to fit any task. The end product was the Supervisor droid. Then disaster. A powerful ego virus infected the Supervisor, and it began to consider its personal goals paramount to its original programming. Thinking mankind to be inferior, it introduced the virus to the other worker droids and retooled the factory, producing a legion of warrior robots.
This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
Hey everybody, welcome to Dirty Rectangles Online, February. Hello. What's going on, Internet?
Hello.
Hi friends. How's everybody doing? This
Going all right,
February.
partner.
Yeah.
Getting by.
Pretty good.
Everyone's getting by?
Yeah.
Eric, I feel like you're like kind of sitting like out of frame or something.
Me?
Yeah, you. There you go.
He's a little low.
Yeah, you're a little low.
I'm sorry.
He's got a
Okay.
February stoop going.
Nice room happening back there.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I have one of those shelves. I haven't set it up yet. I think it's been in the corner of my room in an IKEA box for a while.
It holds my curling rock, my King's Quest picture,
Ooh.
and
Yeah.
my copy of Wingspan. Also
Ah.
a beer bottle.
All
Just so
important
you know.
things. Hi, everybody. Welcome. We're getting off track already, but that's okay. I hope you're here to check out some video games because, boy, do we have some video games for all of y'all. Before we get going, though, I just want to say hi, Eric McQuiggan. How you doing? We already said hi to you, but hi.
Yeah, hello. I'm doing
Hi
well.
again.
Nice to see you there.
Yeah, you too. Eric Billingsley. How are you?
Hello, I am doing reasonably okay.
Just reasonably okay? I think you're.
Yeah.
I think.
Pretty good.
Okay. What are you drinking there?
This is the Rabble Rouser from Tooth and Nail.
Ooh.
Ooh, no product placements here.
Yeah.
Jonah Davison, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. Things have been kind of up and down, quiet, but I'm still working on that wacky randomizer project that I demoed at a previous Rectangles, and I'm probably going to have to show it off again next month because it's just wild shit. We're
Hell yeah.
just reverse engineering the thing. We figured out where the item data and all the text data is, so it's just going to
Oh.
get weird.
That thing's very
And-
cool.
I'm drinking the rare and exotic PC Blue Menu sparkling water pomegranate.
Only the best. Only the best. James from the internet.
Hello. Yes, you know me from the internet. You know me from
Back
Ottawa.
in the Game Boy.
This is a different Game Boy. This is actually not a Game Boy of my my own devising. This is an online Game Boy. Maybe I'll post this in the chat
It looks good. I like
so
the,
everybody
Yeah.
can use it.
I like the palette there.
Very cool.
Yes, hello everybody from the Frankie stream as well that is joining us. I see
Yeah.
Garju, I see it's the only person I recognize from that actually, but I see some people from Frankie stream.
And all the other people too.
Mhm.
All right,
Everybody's
we're gonna-
welcome. How is everyone? We have a bunch of Dirty Rectangles regulars. We got Spinley Q, we got Eden Student, we got System Chalk demanding that somebody play one of the many keyboards that we have on our webcams right now.
Yeah, there's
That's
a
the
lot of
tease,
musical
right?
instruments in the background.
Yeah.
Of my Dirty Rectangle stream.
We used to be a Twitch stream that had a lot of cats. Now it's just keyboards. Eventually,
we
the
have-
cats will come and interact with the keyboards, but you have to keep watching and tune in and, see when that's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
See this hidden keyboard right out of frame.
Look at that. We prepared for
I don't
this.
have one. I also don't think you'd be able to make out if I did have one on this camera anyway. So it's gonna be fun.
Also, I just got a cool new keyboard, but
Oh,
Nice.
shit, that's nice.
that's the other kind.
Super cool.
We've got the Dirty Rectangles falling into the Mega Man pit. We've got all these lovely people in the chat. We also have 4 lovely presenters today. The main event, the actual people showing off games instead of just being silly on camera like us. we have.
Who do we have?
I should bring up the list. Let me list them. This will be a big scoop. Only I know the set list, and all of you guys,
It's true.
and anybody who looked at the poster, and anybody who's presenting. But if anybody randomly came onto the stream, this will be news to them. So we have none other than Frankie Kaloum, famed, one of the great pixel artists of our time, one of the great Twitch streamers in the just chatting category of Twitch that we all love.
Dad rock connoisseur.
Dad rock connoisseur, right up there with all the great pixel artists and streamers. Jubilee from Twitter, who always draws all those nice landscapes. If you follow her, the guy who made Cave Story, I think also invented the pixel. And
This really feels funny to hold
Man did
for a
that
while.
for himself.
who could forget Michelangelo, who did all the great pixel art in the Sistine Chapel. We also have Matt Harrison, who, along with, I believe, some other people, made a game called Stonks, all about the capital S, capital M stock market. Sorry, but not the real stock market. Don't shut us down, Citadel, midstream. Just fake stocks, I believe. We also have Kenny Bacchus, who everybody knows in Toronto, one of the great Unity game developers and mead brewers of the Toronto area currently.
Is that true?
Nice.
Cool.
Very true. I drank a blueberry mead myself, brewed by Kenny Bacchus a little while ago. And we also have Sean Murphy with is it just him, or is it his whole team that is going to be on the stream today? I don't know.
I think it's just in. Maybe not.
Is
We'll
it
see.
just Sean? Working on Void Rifter, not Void Walker, not Rift Walker like the first two times I made the poster incorrectly. Void Rifter, their game, which I should have known the name of because they have already presented it on a Dirty Rectangle stream before. But this will be the Redux. This will be where the game is at today, how far it has progressed. So
Hell yeah.
fun times.
That was a very professional introduction, James. Thank you. James from the internet, everybody. Digitized in
One
just for
thing
this.
one thing before we get kicked off. Of course, if it's your first time here, I suggest you take a look at our website and make sure to read our
Code of conduct.
attendance. Code of conduct, our attendance policies. It's posted there. Basically, we do not tolerate any sort of the general being a bad person isms. Get rid of all that kind of stuff. Get that out of here. We don't support that. That's both for online as well as in-person events. If you have any issues, there are basically protocols to contact us. And if you want to do it anonymously, you can do it as well. Check it out via the website if you have any questions. But if you have any concerns, feel free to give us a message.
And one more thing, I know we're delaying endlessly, but thank you everyone for stopping by. Moving these online continues to be an ongoing experiment, but we're getting better at it every month and smoother every month. And thanks for keeping it going, because we want to keep helping people out and demoing their games and giving feedback. If you ever want to show something, join our Discord. We'll throw a link down, get in touch with us, contact us on whatever. If you know anyone who might want to show something, doesn't matter if it's broken, doesn't matter if it runs, doesn't matter if it's a concept JPEG. We've had people demo, I think, like napkin drawings at the in-person meetups. So please, we would love to show off your stuff and chat about it.
Hell yeah.
Oh, and just one last thing, one final announcement. Hand-Eye Society's Comics X Games is back. I'm not sure of all the details. I don't know if it will be online this year or if stuff will be opened up by the time it starts up. But either way, you can submit your games to it. If you're not familiar with Comics X Games, it is a exhibition that Hand-Eye runs with TCAF. What is that called? What does that stand for again?
The Toronto Comic Arts Festival.
Yes, it's a great, well, I mean, back when we were able to go back to things in person and be closer to people, always a great event. Wonderful to go down there and see everything that's going on in the independent comic scene. Always just a lot of really, really unique and beautiful art. It's always just great just to walk around, but even greater to actually buy some comics and support some of the the poor comics makers that are there. But yes, you could be exhibiting your game in that very event, whether it's online or in person. They are looking for submissions now. I recommend it. I actually exhibited one of my games there a number of years ago. I can't remember how long ago now.
Yeah.
Also, Jonah, many people have. It's a great way to really get a lot of people to get a lot of eyeballs on your game and to see what they think of it, see what the general public thinks of it, not just other developers.
There's a link in the chat there if you're curious. Click on that link, find out more, do your business.
Yeah.
All right, gents, shall we kick this thing off?
Yes.
I think so.
Let's do it.
We will be back in just a minute with our very first presenter of the night. Don't go anywhere. All right, everybody, we are back with our very first presenter of the night, Francis Coulombe. What's going on,
Hello.
Francis?
Nothing much. It's been drawing some spooky monsters for some unrelated thing.
Nice.
Cool.
All right, take it away.
So I'll be presenting Deathless Hyperion. It's a game that it's kind of a throwback game that I started working on the 7-day FPS Game Jam back in 2012. It was a game jam organized, I think, by the Unity dev log thing. I actually forgot that part. I was just looking up what about that game jam a bit, to refresh my memory. Yeah, it's been a while. And I actually presented that very game to an event not unlike Dirty Rectangles in Montreal back then. So it's a bit of a throwback. That kind of brings me back. I kind of miss those. It was the Mount Royal Game Society.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
That was actually one of the first times I presented. But yeah, the things it moved on quite a bit from there. The project, it's the kind of thing that I never touch. It's like one of those 60 folders of old projects that every once in a while I just blow on it and the smoke comes out, and I start tweaking it a bit, see if where I can take it, and so over the holidays. I decided, okay, you know what? Let's make this an actual game. Let's do it. And I did it. Yeah, pretty happy about that.
Excellent.
So let's just talk about it a little bit, the general concept. So the big, let me just change the screen real quick. Does that work? So the big inspiration of this game is the old DOS game Blakestone, Aliens of Gold. I don't know if you guys get the sound or anything.
Apogee Classic, if I recall correctly. Was it Apogee that made
Yes, it was like an Apogee. It was a game made with the same engine as Wolfenstein 3D.
Yeah.
And it was made by a different team. They basically bought the rights to the engine, I think, and they made this completely different game. But now when I played this, I was maybe 8 or maybe 6 years old even. I was really young, and I was way too young to play a game like this. I had played one other first-person shooter and maybe a few point-and-click first-person-ish games on the Mac. I had played Wolfenstein, for instance, a little bit. And this game was terrifying to me. This game was really scary. The characters, this doesn't really show the monsters, but there's these big monsters that fill the screen that scream at you. You see there, the high security genetic guard. Look at these guys. This is in the first level, by the way. Look at these things. So this game terrified me as a kid. I remember this game as a horror game, even though it's not. It's just a sci-fi, you see the cover, it's this cool guy with a gun with a dead alien that is holding it's a really a pulpy sci-fi kind of game. But to me, to my kid brain, this was a horror game, right? This is a game where there's monsters hiding on every corner screaming, "You're dead!" And it's everything's loud, and I was also just it being a 3D game itself was really intense. And so when I started that 7-day FPS game back in 2012, my basic concept of it was, let's make a game that's inspired of my weird memory of Blakestone instead of what is actually Blakestone, which is actually kind of mediocre first it's actually cool though. There's a few really cool ideas in there. There's NPCs you can talk to. There's these scientists, and some are double agents working for you. There's a lot. There's actually a lot going on with this game. It's really impressive for its time.
I remember seeing screenshots of this a lot on. Remember when they would sell shareware games in the grocery store?
Yeah. So let me show one of the first. I actually have a time capsule here of what the game looked like at the end of the 7-day FPS, just as a little throwback. Let's see. I think it should be this. Let me just again change windows. Here it is. So this was what the game looked like back then.
Yes.
So it's very basic. Basically no sound, a couple of weapons. Look at that flamethrower. I was experimenting with like
Beautiful.
decals. This is the
Looks
first
awesome.
time. This was my first time trying to do a 3D game at all. So I was basically following like a game maker like tutorials on making 3D games. It's really, really basic. I think there's enemies. Yeah, there's enemies, but yeah. You shoot them and they have a very work in progress death animation there. But you know, I had a lot of fun though. You know, it wasn't exactly an actual game by the end of the game jam, but like, yeah, I had some fun. That was that. Now let's show another version that was a little bit later. Let's see. And you might recognize the music playing. This is, of course, from Wolfenstein 3D's soundtrack. I pilfered that just for this little build. And there was, you know, now
so
there's
good.
sounds. So this is something I added like about a year later. You know, I was just, you know, I wanted a little break from all the stuff I was working on. And I decided, you know, let's dust this off a bit. And you know, have some fun adding a little bit to it. Now there's sound. Now there's like sound propagation when you shoot. I had a lot of fun just adding a little bit to it, but it was still pretty basic and not like it wasn't like a complete game or anything. Now
I
let's
love
move
that
a little.
death animation on those guys. It was real good.
Yeah, it's definitely better than the version before it. Now let's share this again. All right, is this working? It's not showing the.
It's loading.
Just loading.
It's loading. Come on.
Sometimes it takes a sec to load in the stream.
That's taking too long.
Uh,
Sorry about that. Let's try it again. Oh, maybe it's because it's maximized. Let's see if I shrink it a bit. Sorry about that, folks. What's going
no
on?
problem.
Come on.
No worries.
Do you want to switch to screen if you don't need audio?
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, that might help. There you go. Yeah, okay, no problem. So this is like one other thing that was kind of important about this little fun thing was this. So this is a bunch of sprites that I drew during the 7-day FPS thing. It's, you know, forever. If you're an artist and you do a game jam, but you like do everything, that's like a very common trap where you just start drawing and you spend way too long drawing things that are never gonna make it in.
Yep.
It's like this sprite sheet here ended up being probably like the most like influential part of doing this, like for me, because this was like the first time I was like trying to use a limited color palette. This is an EGA palette, I think. And like that was my first time like trying to draw things with like a limited color palette. I had a lot of fun with this. This has probably like changed the course of how I draw pixel art. Like just wasting my time essentially drawing like a bunch of guns, which would become a nightmare later. Let's also, but yeah, all these monsters, that was just a lot of fun. A lot of these monsters aren't even implemented in the game like right now. That's how much extra work I gave myself back then in the game jam. Is some of the assets I drew back in 2012 are even today not actually in the game. That is the danger of letting your artist side take over a little too much. Okay, so now let's show what the game is like now. Let's see, how much time do I have left? Let's not take too much time.
Oh, you're good.
All right, let's see here. So let's share this. Is this working?
Yeah.
All right, so Deathless Hyperion. That's the name I came up with, like after like 2 hours of brainstorming before uploading it to itch.io, with wonderful music by Babu OG, by the way. So I made it into a horror game. You have like these different difficulty levels, and each difficulty level kind of has like a different. There's like different monster spawns a bit, but there's like different objectives that you need to deal with to make it to the end. And the highest difficulty level changes things quite a bit. But these are not really functional right now. It's not really a complete game. It is more of a game than before, at least. But it's still a work in progress a bit. So let's play under Explorer, and there you go.
Changes to the art on the difficulty selector were one of my favorite things the first time I played it.
Thanks. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. That little title screen, that's the kind of thing where like you spend so much time on the game itself, and then you just spend a little extra time on really setting the tone with the title screen, and it pays off so much.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm not going to be playing through all the game because there's a little too much. It's kind of a big old maze. But you can probably see some of the inspirations from Blakestone if you know Blakestone a bit. Like just the absolutely overwhelming HUD display with just having way too much information. Having a little bit of information when like there's a monster, when there's an enemy, you can see their name. And it kind of shows you like their stats and things and items. It's just kind of an information overload. And as I was working on that and trying to make it closer to both a horror game and to Blakestone, after a while I realized that I was like accidentally making kind of a System Shock game. Which is kind of funny, because that wasn't really how I thought of this at all when I was starting. But the more I added stuff to make it closer to Blakestone but horror, the closer this became just System Shock. Which is kind of funny.
We need more blood writing on the walls.
Yeah. There's definitely not enough like of a passive narrative or something. I'm not sure how to call that. There's like the narrative is very thin. You're mostly just exploring a spooky place and there's monsters. Of course, I don't really front load the monsters too much. You kind of need to go deeper in to have the real things.
I love the profile of the guy and how how he's pacing with like how quick you're moving around the level and everything, and looking around, and his eyes darting around and everything. Oh yeah.
Also, there's actually another reason for that portrait, which is to just kind of so if you die in the game, instead of just having like a bunch of extra lives, again something that's very System Shock-esque is there's these clones that take over for you. And so if you die, that portrait is gone forever and replaced by like a weird, like blue-faced, hairless clone that just kind of continues the adventure for you. Wow. And you can like connect to a different clone if you have enough cash.
It's a funny portrait. He looks very fresh. He looks very new when he when he first
over here. There's the cloning vat. So if you die, you're replaced by one of these guys. But every time, of course, then the vat is empty, and you can actually these are essentially extra lives, except they just change what your character looks like a bit, which is kind of fun. But it's not really like it doesn't really do anything. Oh well, I'm dead.
Oh no.
Good sound.
Well, you'll see here. Oh wait. I played at the higher difficulty where you don't actually get extra clones at the beginning, so you don't get to see the clones. Oh no. I think that might actually be a glitch because that wasn't super high difficulty there. Let's see, isn't true there, dude? Yeah, okay, I think it was a bit of a glitch there. But yeah, I think that gives you a pretty good idea of the game overall. So yeah, it's this big spooky spaceship, and you have these different objectives. There's a lot of monsters. There's like doors you can blow open with explosives. That's about it.
Bye.
So, let's say you put another 8 years into this game.
Or rather,
what
maybe
comes
like
out the
another
other
2
end?
weeks at the end of 8 years of the idea simmering
Yeah.
in my mind.
You take a 7.5 year hiatus,
Mhm.
then you come back and
course.
tackle this again. Or you're like, is this a complete idea for you now? After like
No,
starting
it's not.
that?
I would say it's really like complete. I still occasionally add some extra like monsters and encounters in there. Like I added like a little while ago, I made it that if you return to a monster after a while, they get back up and they're zombies. So I every once in a while I just kind of come back to it
Yeah.
and add a few things to make it spookier. Because
Yeah.
right now that's one problem is that the atmosphere is there, but there isn't really enough like actual horror elements to the game. The
Right.
horror is kind of fake a little bit right now. Like there's a few moments that are scary. Like there's some monsters that kind of come out of nowhere and scream, which is always great. But you know, it's missing a bit of an actual like horror touch. And I've been just adding these secretly into the game.
Mhm.
I was gonna say most of the enemies are pretty scary, but like the gun turrets aren't that scary. Like maybe it could be like the ghost of a gun turret, or
I think there's like an existential horror to it in a way, right? Like
Yeah, of course.
the
Yeah,
look on
you're
the
being
guy's-
replaced by a clone. Yeah.
The look on the guy's eyes, I think, is what screams the horror. Like he knows what horror is going on. Maybe I don't, and maybe that's scarier.
Perhaps.
Anybody familiar with Frankie's art will know that a lot of his characters are very spooky, but also sort of very unfortunate and charming looking. Very sort of unassuming in a lot of cases. He tends to draw a lot of, you know, walking macabre corpses that seem like they probably have very funny personalities and would be fun to have a conversation with.
That horrible abomination has a rich internal life.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. I think you know, it's a good little tour of the game. Kind of wish I hadn't died over there, but that's fine. That's no biggie.
Well, maybe
Like how
we'll
the
keep
shotgun
running
kinda
around for a
looks
little
like
bit,
a
and
zapper.
we can see if we got some questions in the chat or anything while we have Frankie here.
Oh yeah, sure. If there's any questions?
This is your time, chat.
Garju is demanding that you show the clone.
The what?
Is demanding that you show the clone, which should be easy to do. Just die to one of these moves.
Oh right. Yeah, actually, let's go die to something really spooky. That'll be a good way to close it out a bit. Yeah, I'm gonna go find something spooky, so you guys know I'm not lying when I say it's a horror game. Let's get a key from over here. Oh, another element I should have mentioned is one thing about the game is that it's all like a big seamless map. That I have room transitions using these very suspicious looking rooms. So it does kind of feel like a one giant maze, which is in some ways a bit terrible for like kind of making your way through it. Oh, there it is.
Wow.
Oh god.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't care for that guy very much.
Yeah. The idea is that they're supposed to start attacking you while you fight like this guy, and there you go. Kind of sneaks up on you a bit. Yeah, you can tell he has a rich internal life, right?
Well, it's very Gentil
got
Chapeau,
friends.
I think.
Yeah. Oh, right. I was supposed to die. Let me do that.
Shoal was asking if all the maps are like authored maps, or is there any sort of like degree of like randomness to the layout of the ship or anything?
No, there's no randomness. No, it's all like manually made maps. So there you go. Now I'm a clone. Look at that. And there's 3 clones left.
Can you shoot the glass of the clone chambers?
Can you what?
Shoot the glass of the clone chambers?
No. I actually
That's
do want
probably-
to make these destructible at one point. And maybe make it that if you destroy them, it gives you like a med kit or something. Because it does cost money to unlock them. So if you don't have money, you might Like that might be a decision you choose to do, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's how you unlock prestige mode. You just murder all the clones and you say it's time to go.
Well, of course, the real prestige mode is playing at the hardest difficulty level, which gives you
Right.
like a cool eye patch. But of course, if you die, you lose the eye patch forever. So there you go.
Awesome.
True hardcore.
Yeah.
No, I feel like I'm trying to think of other spooky elements you could throw in. Maybe a little bit of not necessarily randomness, but a little bit of like rearranging the spaces. Could be a fun little spooky thing.
Well, I did
clone
have
attack you.
I did have an idea because, you know, since there's these secret transitions between rooms, that would be a good point to like make it that something like when you return somewhere, it's completely different, or suddenly like the walls are all meaty or something. So I could probably make it that, yeah, like there's a specific room transition that whenever you go through there, there's like a small chance that the other side is different, isn't what it's supposed to be, and you're kind of stuck in like a weird, you know, fleshy walls, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That might be really cool to do something like that. I'm not sure if it would just be random, or maybe it's if you go through this door and all of your objectives are met and you're just headed back to your ship, that's when all of those are active or something. That might be cool.
Or if you can destroy the clone chambers, maybe if there's a small chance that a clone will just break out and start attacking you.
Yeah, actually, like I mentioned, one of the things I added is that that characters that like dead like corpses come back to life. Actually, let's see if they do. I actually made it so that there's a chance they come back to life behind you. So like when you get close to one, there's like a little secret timer that begins. And I think at easy, I think it's deactivated so you wouldn't see it. But yeah, like it's like when there's a corpse, it records the time, like the game time at which it died, and then after a certain number of minutes it's primed, and then when a corpse is primed, if you get close enough to it, it sort of triggers a timer so that it comes up behind you basically, and they're like these zombies. But of course, when you die, you also leave behind a corpse, and so you could end up having to fight yourself as a zombie. That's not in the game yet, but that would be something I definitely want to add. And they might have the gun that you had at the time you died. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
Very good.
But yeah, this is like a base game that can be, you know, can be grown all sorts of ways, and it's kind of a fun thing to come back to as like to take a break from my main project, you know.
Yeah,
just add a little thing here and there. It's fun.
Having something you could just iterate on.
Yeah.
For the first time in my life, like I've had a project that's like that right now, and it's been really fun to just be like, what am I going to do today, or what am I going to throw in there just for fun?
Yeah, actually, my current main project, it's a horror RPG, and it kind of started like that. It was something I started just for fun because I just wanted to draw monsters, and I didn't really have much of an outlet to draw monsters because my main project at the time needed just a lot of animation and like different directions for everything. So everything had to be really simple because otherwise it would be way too much work. So I basically started that project as an excuse to draw big, elaborate like monsters. But now it's like a real ass project. So it's fun.
Perfect.
Yeah, Frankie's original main project, well, not original, but his last main project was working as the main artist for Barkley Gaiden 2.
Yeah, that's where drawing a lot of guns became a nightmare. I drew 2,000 guns for that game.
Holy moly.
No one's ever going to see them now.
When you were showing all the guns for this game, I was like, yeah, Frankie has a lot of experience drawing.
Yeah, I mean, that's where it started. That was before that. So that became what was a dream slowly became a nightmare.
Well, with that, I think that's maybe a good segue for us to maybe scoot on out of here. Frankie, thank you so much for showing off this game. This is up on
no problem.
itch.io,
Thank
right?
you for having me.
People can find this on itch, right?
Yeah, it's on itch.io. Yes. Let me link. I should have had a link ready.
James
What am
threw
I
it up
doing?
there.
I threw it up for you.
Already in the chat.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Although, if you maybe
if
want
you
to link
found
to
any issues or anything, leave a comment. That's always nice.
you maybe want to link to your stream. Frankie's a very prolific Twitch streamer,
sure.
always streaming. art that he's doing on his current main chicken game called Malison, right?
Yeah, Malison, the Cursed City.
Sorry, I'm using mixed lingo here. I'm using fighting game lingo.
That's right. You're nailing it. All right, we will be back in just a little bit. Let's get some Doritos in the chat for Frankie. Frankie, thank you so much. Don't go anywhere. We will be back with our next presentation.
Woo! Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for having me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our next presenter of the night, Matt Harrison. How's it going, Matt?
Pretty good. You guys?
Pretty good. Pretty
Going well.
excited to see what's going on here.
Yeah, in the exciting world of stonks. Cool. So what is stonks? So Stonks was a board game we came up with. I think it was 2 weekends ago at the last game jam. It was created by Brian Freder, Jan. I always get Jan's last name wrong. Kowalski, Jason Nuyens, me, and Mike Keogh.
I know those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, currently it exists as a board game in Tabletop Simulator, where we've been testing stuff out for it. So what is it? It's basically a board game, currently playable with up to 4 players. Where the main goal, as you might have suspected, is to have the most money at the end of the game, which you acquire through making trades. So how it works is basically you start the game with a full board, which basically has all the assets on the board. So there's 20 of each item, which currently right now, probably because we were hungry, is all food-related items. You also get one stonk deck, or sorry, one bid deck and one stonk card. The bid deck's kind of showed there, but I'll show you how it works in a sec. So essentially, once everyone has their stuff, each round everyone gets $2 and one stonk card. Each player places their bids, which can be up to 2 buys or 2 sells. After the bids are made, a stonk card which can be played, which I'll explain in a sec, and then the bids are executed. And after that, you just recycle, move on to the next player. So basically, what happens is each round, you put down your bids as the set of cards from your bid cards. So in this case, each player takes a turn to put their bids down. And between that, players can then play what's called a stonk card. I'll explain it a bit more later, but it's essentially a modifier of the current market price. And after that's played, then the bids are revealed. And at this point, people get whichever assets they can get to some degree. So as an example, the first player here is looking to buy $8 worth of apples. You'll see as well that the items are kind of in little bins, and those bins represent a market value. So currently, apples would be at $1. In fact, all the items would be at $1 per item, but that changes as the game goes along. So for the first player, because he wants $8 worth of apples and it's a unit price of $1, he would get 8 apples. And same for the second player, but with bread. That's probably Jason, because Jason loves bread. So he would get his 8 bread. The third one's a bit more interesting because they're basically asking for $4 worth of milk and $4 worth of apples. So for the milk, they would get 4 milk because those have a unit value of 1 per milk. But for the apples, the market value has actually changed at this point. So it's $2 per apple at this point. So he would only get 2 apples. And then the last player is also kind of interesting. Essentially, you would think that it would be a market value of $2 per bread, but because there's a modifier played, it's a bit hard to see, but it's a -2. So that would reduce the market value by 2. Since it's at $2, the lowest it can go in the game currently is $1. So he would just end up getting 8 bread, each at $1 value.
Of course.
Yeah, and so once you've done that, it basically your big cards go back in your deck, and it rinses and repeats. Yeah. So, and just to clarify, how you make money more and how the trading works is essentially you buy all your items and you sell all your items at a certain market price. So for in this case, for the apples and for the bread would be at $3 per bread, and the apples are at $1 per apple. So if I was to buy 10 apples this round, I would buy each of those at $1. So then in a subsequent round, if I want to sell those apples again, because the market value is $2 per apple, I would sell those back and get $20, which would make me $10 profit. So that's basically how you make money.
Get that bread.
Yeah, you need your bread. So I guess where the fun kind of comes into the game is with the what we call the stonk cards, which are essentially modifiers that occur. They occur between when you actually place your bid and when the bid actually goes through. And you can't change your bid after you've placed it. So essentially, you you don't know if your bid's going to go through exactly how you want it to go through. Because yeah, each of the modifiers can sort of affect the prices. So, for example, in this case with the apples, if I went to sell those back expecting $2 per apple, and somebody puts a -2 modifier on it, then I won't make any profit off those. I'll basically just be selling them for $1 per apple. So I've made nothing off of it.
Not
And
stonks.
yeah, those stonks. And some of them are even like can't buy and sell cards, which are even more brutal. There's a good example. So this is sort of from the tabletop game we did. It might be a bit hard to see, but essentially on the bread, there's a no buy. And in this current round, 3 people had decided they wanted to buy bread. And so they didn't get any bread that round. It was a sad round for them. And that's the thing, is if you can't perform a buy or you can't do the action that you wish to do, then you forfeit your round on that round. So it makes it interesting because apart from just trying to gain profits, you're also trying to anticipate how other players are likely to screw you over.
Right. So if you're playing against Jason, then you play all the bread-based stonk cards.
Exactly. Yeah.
Got
You can, you're pretty much guaranteed.
My question:
Yeah.
do you have any English folklore themed characters that cause problems?
We do not.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't. The items, we had fun playing the items, so I don't know if the items will be like the final thing. Most of it came around from, as you would probably guess, the whole fun with stonks that's occurred lately. So we're interested in trying to explore that. And that probably, like I said, combined with hunger, led to the game you see right now.
And are the stonk cards, is that the only way to change the price of something?
Yeah,
Or does it change
that
like when you buy and sell?
so it does change when you buy and sell. So essentially, can you guys see my pointer through the
Yeah.
screen share? Yeah. So each of these is sort of a separate market price. So once one of those boxes is empty, the value per item jumps to the next box.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you end up, usually it's more effective to try and buy more of a singular item, because especially when you can get it to the next unit price, then that's how you can make the profit back. There's also, you're completely allowed to talk with other players and like collude if you really want to. So you could collude with other people that we're all just gonna stock up on apples, and then because you're all stocking up, the value price of them will go up. That's hoping someone doesn't stick a modifier card on there to screw you over, but
Of course.
yeah. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff I think still to finesse out, but overall it was, I don't know, we played it for the weekend and we've played it a little bit more, and it was pretty fun by the end of the weekend. So we're having a good time playing it. So yeah, I think we're excited to just see what we can do with it. We'll probably keep playing around with it on Tabletop Simulator, and then maybe we can just release, what do you call it, like the shareable tabletop packages that people can play around with.
That's cool.
Awesome.
Cool.
What was it?
Yeah.
I've never, so tabletop's awesome. I've used it for a few things. I've never actually used it for prototyping, which to me seems like, now seeing this seems like a no-brainer. But like, how did you find using it to prototype out the design? Or did you actually use it to prototype out, I guess, is another question as well.
Yeah. So we started in, what is it, Mizo or something like that. It was a collaboration tool. So I think the icons in there actually stock Mizo icons. And then yeah, Brian did. He's sort of the tabletop simulator guru. So he sort of got it all set up in there, and it was pretty quick too. Like I think he was able to get something workable in a couple hours. So if you're looking for a way to
Cool.
to
Yeah.
get going with a board game, it seems like a great way to do it. And
I've
some of the
I've
stuff people can build in there is crazy.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty useful engine. I've had students who decided they weren't good at programming, but they used Tabletop Simulator to make game examples of their ideas, and I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah, that's a
That's
good use
cool.
for it.
That's cool.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and it was a good way to sort of quickly iterate on ideas and sort of refine the mechanics down a bit more.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
That's cool.
so that's Stonk so far as it exists.
Cool.
So are you gonna add any Sherwood ne'er-do-wells to your game?
Yeah, I'll confer with the others. And yeah, we might be able to. I'm sure that's a possibility.
All right.
Go with generic stock guy that you see on all the Stonk's assets.
Oh,
That'd be hilarious.
Is there a lot of like bluffing involved when you're playing? Like, say you were trying to collude with people, but is there like, could you like secretly screw those people over by doing a different bid or something like that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I don't think when we were playing it there was a bit of colluding. We're terrible colluders, so we're probably the like worst people to count with that one. But a lot of times people would get screwed over where they would like think someone was going to do something like block their trade or something, and then the person would do something completely different that would just screw people over in really unexpected ways. So that's, I think, what made it interesting. Is it's like a lot of times you're trying to do your trades, but the trickier part is trying to anticipate what other people are going to do to screw over your trades or to improve their trades.
It's interesting.
Hmm.
Cool. All right,
Cool.
Matt. Well, so you were saying that you're probably gonna release this at some point, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I don't know that we have any particular timeline, but I'm guessing the goal would probably be to just refine things a bit more and then maybe have something playable that people can play around with and maybe give us feedback on.
Cool.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Any last questions here for Matt before we scoot on over?
Is there any way to short squeeze in this game? No, I'm just kidding.
So we were actually looking at adding some way to introduce short mechanics. We haven't found it yet, but that was definitely discussed.
That's hilarious. All right, Matt. Thank you so much for showing us the stonks, and
Yeah, Jared.
we will be back with our next presenter of the night. Don't go anywhere.
Number go up.
right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our next presenter of the evening, the one and only Kenny Backus. What's going on, Kenny? Oh, can you hear us?
All right, so let me hop in. Yeah, yeah, I can.
Perfect.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we're good.
Okay. All right, sweet. Okay, guess I have to sit like this. All right, sweet. All right, so then I'll just, yeah. Well, here, I'll introduce the game first. It's, which I went through a bunch of other names. Wasn't sure what to go with. I made it during the Global Game Jam. I didn't make it as part of the Global Game Jam, though, because they have a bunch of rules, and I wanted to, like, completely reuse all of my code and assets from Skyrogue. Simpler. So I went ahead and just sort of did my own thing for the weekend, and then a few days after. This is, well, if I don't want to explicitly name the game it's inspired by, which should be pretty obvious when I get into it, it is a sports game where in the future, sorry, I didn't actually get that.
Wacky Racers by Blizzard, right? That's the game that inspired this.
Yeah, it's a anyways, it's a I'll just hop into it. It's a sports game where in the far future we play soccer or football, however you call it, with airplanes. So here's the ball. Here's these other dudes who I'm playing with, and yeah, I'm just trying to get it into the red goal. They're trying to get into the blue goal. The AI is super simple. It just kind of tries to hit the ball on the right side of the ball, and it doesn't really think. See, he's just scoring for me. I didn't even have to do anything. Just keep doing it till time runs out. That's the deal. I can do little dodge maneuvers, so I can like hit it on the side, but it's a bit difficult to do that actually. Come on. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Sweet.
that's cool.
In case I'm not already going fast enough, I've got an afterburner to go even faster with limited fuel. Because this is an airplane, if that's still not fast enough, you can always like get some altitude and then go down, and you'll go really fast. Cool. Yeah. Oop. Here we go. Oof. Chasing this ball around, trying to get into the goal, trying to prevent them from getting in the goal. And notably, it has online multiplayer, which is like pretty intentional because I just wanted to like go ahead. I've made some online games in the past, but been in a company and like a lot of the code's already been written. And this is just me actually doing it from the ground up for a real game.
Sort of like
So
Rocket.
it's so simple.
All you can do is aerials.
That's exactly it. So because the gameplay was simple, I could spend a lot of time doing multiplayer code, the thing you're not supposed to do for jam games, because it was like, it wasn't the only thing I was doing, but it was like the main thing I was doing the whole time. So yeah, I think that was nice. It was something I don't really do often.
You were using
here,
Photon for this, right?
Yeah, I'm using Photon. I'll just hop over, like, show you the interface. Like, you know, you can... Oh, there's my mouse. There's no rooms. No one's playing right now. You can start a room. Right now, there's no AI players on an online game, but I might make it so that there's, like, little ringers that come in. But yeah, this is actually working. I tried it out. I don't really know about how it works for other people online, but it seems to work decently on my machine. And then because I reused a ton of code, there's like menus for everything. There's a field of view thing. Here, I'll crank it up. You know, all these other settings, which I just sort of copy pasted from Skyrogue. Volume sliders for a jam game. That's impressive, isn't it? Anyways. So yeah, here's more field of view. Oh yeah, this is a cool bug. Yeah, if I hop into a multiplayer game and then hop out and then do other stuff, it kind of screws up a little bit. So let me see real quick. Sorry about this. And then once I get started back up, you can just go ahead and like, oh cool, that was pretty quick. Let me get the stream in back on. Yeah, once it gets back up, yeah, just ask me anything, talk about anything you want. It's kind of, the floor is open.
Cool. Yeah, no.
Is it on?
Oh,
Yep, you're back.
Oh, yeah, oh, there we go.
Sweet. Okay, cool.
So, is there?
Okay, cool. There's AI. Sweet.
Has there been like a bunch of like human players on this so far since the jam? Seems
No,
like
actually not. People could easily hop into, but I don't know. Maybe just like no one pays attention to my Twitter or whatever. But that's fine. I don't really know like this is of course like, so like I'm not like seeing this as something that I need to kind of hit the virtual pavement and like send key. Well, there's not even keys. It's a free game, but you know, get attention from streamers and stuff. But yeah, I can sort of tell Photon dashboard, seeing if other people are connected. And I did see like several days ago, there was I think like 2 people who weren't me because it was like 3 a.m. So I guess some people did play it, but they didn't say anything. They didn't post anywhere, at least that I can see. I guess I can add I can see if anyone tweets about it.
I've been meaning to play it with some buddies of mine, but I just haven't gotten the time together for it. But
Got a question in the chat here from Frankie asking how hard it was to put the CPU AI together, and maybe you just if you just want to chat about the AI a little bit.
Oh, sure. It was super simple because I copy pasted from Skyrogue. So in Skyrogue, I've already got AI that wrote like years ago, which like it can like make an aircraft go and fly to a certain point in space. So I just sort of say like if the ball is in friendly territory, try to hit it outside of friendly, like on the side that is opposite, or sorry, the side that is closest to your friendly goal. Just hit it on that side. Try to do that, and then if it's not in friendly territory, try to hit it in the side that'll be the opposite side from the enemy goal. So it'll try to hit it into the goal, maybe. And as you can see, like it's kind of that's very much jam style AI. It's very hit or miss. He's just sort of like chasing the ball and hitting it right now. But sometimes they can actually like score some goals. Like it's 0-0 right now, but like as I've been testing over several days, like there were some games with like 3 points on each team. I guess sheer luck, more or less. Like answer how the AI works beyond that. So basically, like through math that I completely forget. So look at me. It kind of figures out, oh, I should probably, if I want to get to that ball, I should tilt this much, and then I should just keep pulling up until the ball is roughly in front of me, and then I can level off, and then I can just fly there. That sort of action destination changes to say like, oh, okay, well this is close to level off, or like you're only like a degree off. That's close enough. Otherwise, you're gonna keep doing like this over and over again. In Skyrogue, they would like wobble like this a lot.
We got a few more questions in the chat here. So this person says, I just want to say I love Skyrogue and the idea that your flight code is a framework for arbitrary games. How much work was it designing the game around the existing code? And like, I guess, did you like, when you built Skyrogue, did you build it in such a way that you can easily pull that stuff out? Or did you have to like, was it kind of messy to unplug what you needed and move it over?
It was kind of messy. So basically, this is a fork of the Skyrogue project. So it was a lot simpler to do that and just remove the parts that I didn't need. So it's not really like this code isn't really designed for being used in other games, but it ended up not being so hard to just get like the basics working. Yeah, I mean, for a lot of stuff, I use kind of the Unity default, like Unity physics, Unity colliders, and stuff like that. So the code already understands, like, oh, you can push, a rigid body around and stuff like that. Like the dodge animation is something from Skyrogue.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say like up for like the first. Updated it today with a few extra features to show off, like the afterburner. Up to kind of the jam version, it was fairly straightforward, and I got to mostly work on yeah, as I working today, just adding some stuff. There were definitely like some pain points where the game wasn't designed for me to fool around with it like this. Like the way dodge works was kind of like I got all of the numbers correct, like back in 2016 or something, and I never touched them again. And it didn't really appreciate being modified. It kind of broke a bit. Like the fact that you see there's like a yellow part of the fuel bar there, it's like the health bar from Skyrogue. So like that thing is already there. I didn't have to touch anything. I just had to pretend that your fuel is your health, and everything just sort of worked.
Right. That's cool. There's another question in the chat
Like the
here from Frankie saying, "Do you have the bots so that they can replace players automatically? So like if you're in multiplayer, if someone drops out, did you handle any of that stuff? I know it's a jam game, so."
Not right now, but that's definitely something I was thinking of. It's just a matter of like, well, it's a jam game, so I'm just gonna do something else for now and do that later. But it's definitely something I'm aware of that would, like, if this, yeah, exactly. It's definitely a thing which, like, if I were to put this on, if I were to ask people money for this, basically, it would definitely be something I'd have to do. And it's fairly straightforward to do that, actually, because, like, already the way that the game works in Skyrogue, it separates the component that controls even the game object, if you want to get really technical, the component that controls the aircraft from the component that actually drives its physics. Me right now, I'm just pressing buttons, which a component reads as, hey, set the throttle on the aircraft to this, set the pitch to this. And then the AI is doing the exact same thing. It's just, instead of saying, when I press a button, do this, it's saying, this stuff happens in the game scene, and this thing is over here. Make it pitch this way, make it throttle this way. So, like, the AI doesn't have really any magic going on currently that makes it cheat. It has to sort of play the game how I play it. So, because of that, having, like, AI takeover would not be a huge deal. It would mainly just be a kind of just a netcode thing, like figuring out how to make that handoff work with Photon.
Cool.
It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Did you release this? Like, is this out on itch?
Yeah, just Google Aero Cup. It's actually probably there because I did SEO on the names. If anything Googleable. An AeroPress, I think. So,
So you rejected the name Space Stalker?
It's on the Fractal Phase. Because of the game that it's inspired by, which I won't mention, but has already been mentioned. Sounds sportsy. Did that instead of calling it like RC cars soccer or whatever. So I called it that instead of like, jet soccer or jet, like calling it jet football would probably just confuse Americans, for example. Ah. Actually, speaking of football and soccer, I was trying to make like volleyball, jet volleyball, and like my first attempt just wasn't so great because like I figured out, oh, now I need to restrict, like you have to kind of be on your side, whereas currently you can fly anywhere. Actually, that's one kind of interesting thing. You'll notice like I'm flying outside of the arena constantly. And it's because in early testing, I just decided it kind of sucks when like you just hit a wall. Like maybe that feels okay if you're a car, but if you're a jet, you kind of just want to fly wherever you want to.
That's interesting.
You don't want to fly way off the map because then you're not near the ball and you can't do anything. But it's so cool to be able to sort of use the outside of the arena to do certain maneuvers.
Good job, Blue.
Wow.
Questions?
There's a lot in here for a jam game.
Yeah, there's I might have whatever. It checks to see if you have the correct number of controllers before it'll let you do split screen. I don't have anything hooked up right now, so I guess I won't do that. Which it might actually be broken because I haven't tested it in several days. But yeah, there's like a tutorial. You can choose, like I've been doing simulator controls, but you can do simpler controls that just do this. Like I said, I copied stuff from Skyrogue, so
right.
So like there's so much stuff that is just sort of there. So like getting the tutorial together was like a 15-30 minute task.
Something I feel like is missing is some kind of capability to like lock onto the ball with like some sort of like a missile. Like maybe there's like a pickup or something that's kind of rare that you could grab, and then you could like shoot the ball with a missile and like launch it flying.
Oh, that might be interesting.
Anytime I see one of your
stayed
games,
pretty close to
lock
the
onto
source
it.
material. Oh yeah, definitely. Like at least for Skyrogue, like I spent a fair amount of time getting the kind of feel of the missile lock-on stuff pretty nice. So I have a bit of an idea of how to do that. The simple controls. There we go.
So do you think you would use this framework again if you were making another jam game? Like rip apart this thing to do something else with it?
I think what I would do is that I would I think I would kind of take because I have like a bit of a framework for just any game that I've kind of been keeping around. I'd take that and then probably add parts of the Skyrogue code, or at least like the gameplay part of the flight model, and then like try to disconnect it from all the other stuff it's depending on, or it's assuming exists. Simple answer, yeah, I'd probably try making something a little more disconnected just so that I feel like I can willy-nilly, and because it's already kind of simple to begin with, stuff's not going to just kind of break on me, and I'm not going to spend hours editing from 8 years, or not 8 years, to like 5 years ago or something.
Cool. Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you.
No, it's not what I wanted. what I want to show. All right, hold on here.
Awesome.
Very, very last minute. I'm just putting everything up on here. Real
Hello.
Fast. This is what our Discord looks like. Okay, here we go. This is looking a little better. Hey, look, we've got Eric. We've got some cameras going. I can even turn on my camera. Look at this. We still got Kenny in here. Everybody can see what we're doing. I'm not holding down my mic button, so these guys can only hear me on stream and not in here. Now they can hear me in here.
Yeah, I was a little confused.
Yeah.
It's a little confusing.
I had the
It's a
stream
little-
open.
It's a little confusing for all of us, but we're gonna. Derek's computer is in some state of dying right now. He was running the stream.
Yeah.
It was dying to the
It might
degree
be
that
on fire.
it might be on fire. It was dying to the degree that he couldn't even really send me the stream key to get the stream back up and going. But we now have it. We now have it. We will report on how Derek and his computer are doing shortly. But we need to get on to our last and final presenter while everyone is here. How are we doing on views? Look, we still got 31 people here. Not everybody ran away, so we'll try to keep going. My apologies for the quality of this right now in terms of my scenes and stuff. I had these scenes set up for my classes that I teach, and not for Dirty Rectangles, so I didn't want to show that. I mean, look, I can show this here. This was instructions for students to try out something during one of my classes. But anyway, we are gonna. Could somebody bring Sean up into the channel for me?
Yeah.
Thing. Oh, there we go.
So yeah,
Hello,
sorry,
Sean.
I don't have this scene exactly set up perfectly for this, but we've got this little border. We've got some stuff going, and we've got Sean Murphy here to show some. Sorry, I forget the name now.
Void
Void
Rifters?
Void Rifters.
Void Rafter, I believe it's called. Yeah, so it works. My girlfriend is here and she's going to connect with me, and so we're gonna because Void Rifter's multiplayer now.
Nice.
Very nice.
And we're gonna play some Horde mode. I'm also gonna show off the customization for your mechs now. So you
Cool.
can customize your mechs, you make them look cool. I guess my camera's off. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, just switch
Derek?
on your. You can switch on your camera. You can switch your.
Yeah.
Oh. If you want to start up your stream, I don't know if you have.
All right.
No, there's Derek.
Derek?
Oh,
Derek's kinda
he's
back.
gone again.
Okay, let me try to get this to work. I got a stream from editor because I don't know why builds are crashing right now. I'm at a point with Unity in which I've actually stopped running into errors and I just get crashes and stuff with no debug errors or anything like that. So it's always fun trying to figure things out. I'm also at a point where I switched to Unity 2020, which was a mistake because Unity 2020 was not ready for release. Don't know why it was released. It crashes every 5 to 10 minutes, so it's quite the adventure. So I have to share my entire screen for some reason. It won't let me select Unity.
Oh.
Hey,
Hold on.
Derek.
Well,
Yeah, if you share your whole screen, we won't have sound, but at least we can see it.
well, we'll be able to see it at least.
Yep.
All right.
Everybody.
There we go.
Oh, look at
All right.
that color. Spelt the correct way.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, I spell color the correct way everywhere inside of Void Rifter, and I think it's going to upset many of my potential customers, and I'm okay with it.
This making design decisions based on how much it'll upset your potential customers is always a good one.
It really is. Customization is a work in progress. I've been putting together this and testing how it feels and stuff like that. I was scrambling to put in the text and everything so that I could actually have like little things so you know what you're clicking on. But right now you just gotta feel it out, and there's bugs. So when you try to customize your Mac, sometimes it changes. So I put random in here to make it a little easier.
Nice.
We get a lot of randomized mechs and stuff like that. So let's find a cool looking one. Let's be a big boy.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
I have a favorite color. No, we're gonna. There we go. White with red trim.
Nice.
And then you get the lights, and you can turn. I forgot to put the post processing inside this scene. Yeah, no, that was the right one. Was it the right one? I don't know. I gotta name these things. It's green. Green too. Red, white, and then red. I can rotate the Mac. Look at it from all angles. Void Drifter had a graphical overhaul lately. I had to, because developing for the Oculus Quest is a sort of nightmare. It has about the processing power of the Xbox 360 Elite. So it doesn't really like to do anything that is graphically intensive. So I had to overhaul pretty much everything to try to get better frame rates out of the game. So a lot of the art assets have changed. Where's the color? I want my guns to match. Where's so white with red.
Nice.
And so then there we go. Here's a cool bug. When you're trying to rotate, sometimes it just slides left to right. And what's really fascinating about this bug is it doesn't happen in the editor view. It only happens in the game view if you're on the editor. It doesn't happen in builds, which is quite shocking. But what? All right. All right, are you ready? Yeah, you're good? Okay. So I'm going to load up the multiplayer. I'm using Photon as well, because theirs is the best. You can join now. The best and most affordable of what I could find. And it works pretty much on everything, which is a miracle. However, they removed check if players disconnected for some reason. So you just never know if a player disconnected. So you gotta kind of like work a whole system into that, which is a fun adventure. But we'll see. There's a couple bugs. This might crash, might lag, but that's all part of the fun. And if things go smoothly, then player 2 will not be in the ground. Yeah, perfect.
Oh, nice.
So we can both customize our max. And so this is horde mode. This is an 15-minute wave survival. I wrote a director over the Global Game Jam for a little game that I was making, which was also a mod of Void Drifter. And the director tries very hard to make you not live, as they usually do. And so we got our flying enemies, which are lovely. We also got a VFX pass. So things look much prettier now when they explode. There we go.
Oh yeah.
I have
Sweet
laser
sparks.
guns somewhere, but I don't believe I selected them in the editor, so. Explosions. I'm actually kind of happy the audio is not on because in order for it to be heard for the stream, it would have to be very loud, and these headphones that I'm wearing are excessively loud. Yeah, and so this is actually one of the levels that I put together pretty quickly for the PvP. So there's PvP as well, deathmatch and team deathmatch. And this is the deathmatch, team deathmatch map. The horde mode map is going to be a moon base, which I haven't put it together yet. I was going to put it together yesterday, but I was pretty busy with work, so I didn't have the chance, unfortunately. Look at that, pretty. Just give it a second or two, and then the director's probably going to do a kill wave. I gave the director the ability to send excessive amounts of AI, and it multiplies the amount of AI it's going to spawn by 10. And so we just get completely overrun, and hopefully we survive. We'll see.
I like that. How was so I mean AI Director kind of was first popularized, I guess, in Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what kind of like lessons did you learn from Left 4 Dead?
The silent moments where you're not sure when things are coming are the most powerful moments. And so, like, we're not getting a lot of waves right now, which is kind of surprising to me, but that leaves me to believe that the director is waiting for something. It's not a very intelligent system. It just has a little bit of clever randomness in it. And so it it does wait for certain behaviors before it starts really trying to kill the players. Like, for example, if we all have maximum health, but I crashed. By wave 7, then it'll just I didn't crash. Hell yeah. It'll just start sending a lot of AI. So I think we're gonna start seeing that any minute now.
If you're doing too good, then the game
It
time
punishes.
to take you down.
But yeah, so Void Drifter's changed a little bit since last year. I'm the only person working on it right now. Everybody else has moved on, which is awesome, and they're all moved on to really cool things. So I'm really happy for them all. And so right now I'm just taking my time, making sure that things work. And in the Discord I have, it's very quiet. I don't really post very much in there because it's not really much to post. I used to do a lot of live testing with random users, and we got a pretty good amount of people in there for quite a little bit for the PvP testing. But we always ran into issues and stuff like that. So I wrote bots to do the PvP testing. And that worked really great. So I got most of the team deathmatch debugged, which is fantastic, just using the bots. And then balancing, I'm going to do a lot more with players and stuff like that. I'm working with a Chinese company right now for the Pico Neo 2. They reached out to me and they want to put Void Drifter on their store. And so I have one of their headsets, and I'm going to be starting the porting very soon for that. Which means I got to finish Void Drifter, or at least get it to a sellable state in the next month or two.
Oh, that's awesome, though.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And I work with the side quest guys a lot too, which is very exciting because it is a game that is playable on the side quest or on the Oculus Quest and Quest 2. I have both of them, so I ported it to both of them. And it's been a blast, honestly. It's so much fun. The demo is still live. I'm at over 6,000 downloads now for the demo, and then on itch I got another 1,000 or something like that, which is really exciting. And it's just so much fun to work on. It's so wonderful.
Can't go wrong with a good mech combat game for sure.
You really? Oh, here we go. The kill wave. Oh, see what I tell you.
Blue screen of death. Perfect.
It was fast.
All right, respawn. Hell yeah. Sometimes the respawn doesn't work, so it's good that it does in this situation. How are we doing? We are doing good. I think. Yeah, I think it broke. Okay, so it looks like there's no more waves coming. It seems. Hopefully, I'm wrong, but it doesn't look like it.
You made the director tired?
Yeah, I made it be like, yeah, I'm done for the day, and then walk away. So I'm getting a lot of nulls, which is fine. Question mark. Yeah, I'll give it another couple seconds to see if anything spawns. If not, then I guess I'll call that. But yeah, so any questions related to it? It's been quite the long project so far, which has been very exciting. This is, I think, the only project that I've really held on to and built a business around and stuff like that. So it's really exciting.
I know, it's super cool. Yeah, one question from Frankie was, are these little land octopi the enemies?
I don't know what they are. That's the problem. So I'll go with a yes. Maybe I'll make them land octopi. The initial story for Void Rifter was, your dog's stolen by creatures from another dimension, and it becomes a surrealistic combat to get your dog back, and very
Right.
John Wick-esque. But it's a simple story and it's very motivating. So, yeah.
Cool. Another question from Jonah in chat. Are the different mech designs cosmetic, or did they change up the playstyle at all?
So they will. For example, when you go, I'm just going to end the multiplayer match, and I'm going to go back to the. Thank you, Sarah. I'm going to go back to the editor so we can edit the mech. Essentially, what it's going to be is you can change your class, which changes how fast you are, how much damage and health you have. And then another feature I'm going to add on is the ability for the parts that you have to change the weight of your mech. And so,
Okay.
for example, if we go to heavy, we're super slow. We got all the heavy parts on. But if I went to heavy and then I put all the lightweight parts, which are these ones, and then I went to the torso and tossed the light parts over there. Yeah, and then, for example, that would make your Big Mac quite a bit faster, but you'd have practically no armor as the result.
Right.
So it's a little bit of a balance. I mean, it's supposed to be a mech game, and that's pretty common in mech games. So it's a little bit of a balancing act, whether you want speed or not. When you have a heavy class, you get 4 guns. When you have medium, you get 3. And when you have a light, you get 2. And it is kind of broken right now because sometimes you don't spawn with anything other than 1 gun. I don't know why. But networking's always an adventure. If I had chose to go the single player route, the game would probably be out and done by now. But I just don't like doing it the easy way. So
Yeah, making games is hard. That's fine.
very hard. I also agree with Unity LTS versions only. But I got excited, so I was trying to solve crash issues because this is all in the universal render pipeline, and it, like many things, has been pushed before it's done. And so it is not stable. And they promised it would be stable for 2020, and so it is now. The URP is stable in 2020, but 2020 is not stable now. So, you give and take, but it's good. I am enjoying it. I like Unity 2020 when it works. But yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot
Any
of
other
stuff to like about Unity 2020, but instability isn't one of them for sure.
That's 100% correct. But yeah, any other questions?
No, I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. It's awesome.
Well,
Yeah, for sure.
Good luck on the last little push here for the next couple months.
Thanks. I got a lot of bugs to fix. It's they keep showing up, and it's like, hey, I thought I fixed you, as it always is. And so yeah. And so the second part of my presentation is actually not related to Void Rifter. I posted a presentation in the forum in the Discord, which is about those who are in the game industry who have gone through things like you've been at a studio, they're not paying you on time, stuff like that. You've been working under bad conditions and stuff like that, working 100-hour weeks and stuff. And so my girlfriend is she works for the NDP, or she's part of the NDP party, and they're going to be doing some revision, or what is it called? It's essentially they're pushing new concepts up for. It starts with an R. What's the word? New resolutions, and for the working class. And it apparently had not been very well known that there's a lot of issues in the game industry, an endless supply of issues, even for very senior developers. We run into problems, we see it all the time in the news, but of course in our developer bubble. And so they're going to bring it up to the head of the NDP party and try to bring it in and see what they can do and stuff like that about it, and do their best to bring light to it from a government perspective, because the government had pretty much no idea this was happening.
Oh, well, that's awesome. So
That's great.
the survey's been posted in chat.
Yeah, please fill it out, even if you've had like a minimal experience of not being paid on time and stuff like that, or it's 100% anonymous, and you are it will never come back to you or anything like that. It's a safe place to share, and the more people who share, the better chance we have of getting light on the issue and potentially a change, because
No, it's an important part of the industry.
So Sarah just informed me that she's the only person who has access to the information. Is 100% confidential. Nothing will be shared. Nothing will get out. It is perfectly safe.
Excellent. Sorry, I'm reading the questions now. I suppose now is not the best time to read the questions.
No, that's
But-
fine. She's just clarifying some stuff with me that if she has any more questions, she will reach out to you just so that she can make sure everything's as clear as possible for when they approach it and stuff like that. Yeah, I think it's time for some change in the game industry. A little bit of more stability. I mean, there's the Google Stadia studios just all got shut down. I don't know how many people got let go from that, unfortunately, but I think we all have either been through it or know people who have been through it, and I think that it's so strange that that's the case, because it's not common with many other industries.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's quite the it's quite a specific situation. I think there's similar things going on in other industries, but it's weird because kind of it's a known secret that's happened in video games since before I even entered the industry. So yeah, I think it's good to get eyes on it.
It's rare to find somebody who hasn't been through the meat grinder, which I think is not okay. I think that's the problem. I think nobody should go through the meat grinder. It's and there's a lot of studios that take a huge advantage of passionate young individuals who are willing to work for almost nothing, and it's not fair. You got to live.
Yeah, agreed. All right, yeah. So we'll signal boost that survey. Everyone in chat there, feel free to check that survey out.
Go fill it out if you work in the game industry.
Or have.
or have.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm on board with anything that we need to do to make that happen, because I think we've all been through it too many times, and it's not fair.
Shit. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't have my mic turned on.
No audio from James.
Sorry, I was.
I mean, I could hear you.
Some illuminating conversation in Discord, but it was not coming through onto the Twitch stream. No, I was just talking about how
it was all beautiful words.
Showbiz is sort of the other big sort of historic example of this, of an industry where a lot of people have a lot of passion for it, and so they're very easy to exploit, even more so than workers in sort of any sort of industry are going to be exploited. But it's a big problem in fields like game development and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think it should end as soon as possible, because it's not fair. Nobody should be paid less than the poverty. Nobody should even should be thriving wages, and the fact that there are people in the game industry who are making $25K and their apartment is $1,600 a month. It's like, okay, but you still gotta eat, so.
Yeah, no, agreed, 100%.
Start a union.
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm up for it.
Hashtag union.
Hashtag union.
Well, thanks for sharing the game. Thanks for the presentation of that document as well. And I think that's all our presenters, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
So yeah, thanks for everybody.
How's my audio? Is
audio?
You guys hear me okay? Hello.
Yeah,
Video's a little bit choppy.
you're cutting out sometimes, but
Needs video.
it's all good.
Right. So this is about the time where we do our little sign off. Thanks everybody for joining us. Coming out on this amazing February. All of Amazing Devs for showing your work tonight. Maybe Eric Billingsley, where can people go if they want to find out more information and get on this show?
You can go to the Dirty Rectangles Twitter account or the Dirty Rectangles _TO Twitter account, or you can come into the Discord, which I posted earlier in the night, and maybe we can post that invite again. There's also a presentation request channel there. And those are the ways. So reach out to any one of us as well if you want to come on the show, and we'll get you set up for that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll have this backed up on VOD, on Twitch, as well as on our YouTube channel. So you could go and find us on YouTube, search for Dirty Rectangles Online. You'll see all of the past Dirty Rectangles on there, as well as some other random shows that we've done. And yeah, any parting words from folks here?
Yeah, just
We'll follow my Twitter account before Drifter.
Sorry, my garbage is being taken out.
Follow.
Sorry, go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, follow. I was gonna say follow Sean on Twitter
And Void Drifter.
and Void Rifter. Yeah.
All of the above. The more tweets, the better. I don't tweet as often as I should. I'm terrible at social media management, but do my best.
Yeah, sorry if you can
That's
hear
all.
me over the garbage cans being dragged around outside in front of my apartment. I just wanted to say that is the Discord link. If you would like to present at a future Dirty Rectangles, please get in contact with us there or at either of our Twitter accounts. And yeah, we're always looking for games or for talks on games or for anything sort of game or digital art related. We run these once a month. Hopefully, very soon, we'll be back to doing the live events at the Avant-Garde and at... man, it's been so long I've forgotten the name of the bar we used to do it here in Toronto at Seascape.
Yeah.
Here in Toronto. It'll be great to see everybody out there in the flesh, showing stuff.
I will take over an empty storefront.
We'll have to see what we want to do with streaming at that point. It might be fun to even stream the live ones back when we're doing them as well, if we have that capability. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe something to discuss after the stream. But anyway, thanks for everybody for coming out. I won't have our usual traditional credits that we normally have at the end of the show, just because I was not set up for streaming today.
Get on to the end.
But if you've already forgotten everybody that was on, these were the people. Yes, I spelt Frankie's name wrong, but just pretend there's a little O line there. Otherwise, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Farewell. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Bye,
Thanks, Sean.
everybody.